Hello, welcome back. This is Morris Dimba, and I want to show you how we can place rebars in this kind of a model. And prior to going to that, if you take a look or if you move closer to our staircase, we are lacking some components here. We don't have a beam here, and we don't have a beam underneath here. So we have to find a way of placing the beam in those areas so that our stair can be suspended accurately. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going right away and start placing the beams here, adding more beams. So let me just select on that, right click and come to special copy here and pick on linear. So under linear here, please note that between this floor to that floor, this is 3.2. So underneath these, staircase will just feed in here 1600. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to just copy that under that, and we have a beam there that will be providing some support for our staircase. And also we have a beam here. We need to place a beam here. Let me just zoom close, and I can turn that round. And if I click on this beam, right click and come to special copy here and give it an offset like that. And if I turn it round, let me just first of all turn it round. If I turn it round and give it maybe 32 there, and if I give it an OK here, right there, I'll have my beam already underneath here. You can see that. So the same beam, I'll take it up by a similar offset distance. So I'll come here and click special copy and retain the 3.2 or 3200 there. So I'll just go ahead and click OK. So I have my beam in place. You can see that. So our staircase is well supported on both sides. So you can take a look on how it looks. Now I'll go ahead and save this because I don't like losing all my work in whatever reason. Now we have everything in place, and first of all we have to start with the beams, then column. We have to start the columns, column bases, then we'll move to the slab. Now as it is now, it looks so clogged, so busy. The drawing looks so busy, so we want to handle one by one in every step. So we can get rid of some tabs here. We can get rid of some tabs here. There's so many, but no problem. We can always find a way of getting rid of them. So let me just go back to my 3D. So under 3D, what I'm going to do, I want to begin with the placement of the column bases. The pad footing. So how do you do that? We'll come to view and we want to use the. Now for us to have a clear view of the column basis, we have to use the clip plane tool so that we can have a clear view. We trim off, we hide the parts we don't need, that will be hindering our view in creating the rebars and the column basis. Now I'll come to create clip plane. I'll click on that and I'll click on the surface of this particular column base right there. So if you take a look here, the other parts of this structure has been hidden. Now I want to push it slightly up. I'll go click move and select on this, then click move. I'll drag it slightly up so that I'll be able to have somehow of that kind of particular view. So from here I'll be able to now start placing my my rebars under the column basis or pad footing. So I'll come to, let first of all minimize this and come to reinforcement here. So under reinforcement, I'll come to container and Rebar macros and click on that. I'll move down. So in here, I'll come to single footing reinforcement. I'll select on that, then select on the column basis, then right click. So there's a procedure of defining that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click, to terminate that command first, so that I turn this into a position that I'll be able to have a clear view of all the sides of this particular member. So let me just turn it around like that. Select my point of interest. Then on this position, the reason why I'm turning it like this, because I'll be given instruction on to define the points where how I want my rebars to be arranged. So that's why I'm turning it like that, because I'll select this point and this point. So I'll come to single footing reinforcement here. I'll select on that, then pick on this pad footing right there. Then right click. You can see select the single footing. Then I've selected that. I'll right click. Then I'll be told to first point to side direction. So I'll select on this point of the first, then I'll go to the second point on that side, and there we are. I have my pad footing in place. So I can do that all the way to the rest of the pad footing. So I'll just go ahead and do the same thing. I'll click on that, right click and define the direction. I'll define that direction like that, and I'll have my pad footing in place. So I'll do the same thing all the way, step by step. At the moment, I will not engage in any of the shortcuts. I want just to pick from the basics, so that as we move on the shortcuts, you'll be able to have had or have mastered something key here. Let me just define the direction, and that is the direction I'm trying to define. So I'll go ahead and do the same thing here. Select on that, and in this particular member or here, I'm not able to get the right points, but on this side I'll be able to get the right points to define the arrangement of the rebars under column basis. So I'll select on that base, then right click and define this from this position to that position there. That is my footing reinforcement. So let me select on that, then right click and define that from that spot to this spot. Let me just turn that round to that section, to that point. So I have that in place, and do the same thing here. Select the base or the pad footing, right click and define this. So I'll just snap on that spot and snap on that spot like that. So let me first of all try if we can copy this. So let me just press Control and select everything here. So the moment I've picked on that, let me just right click and come to copy, and I want to copy it from that spot, and I'll move all the way to this position here, similar to the one I've just used. So that might be an error, and I'll click OK, and let's just use the normal process, and let me turn that around like that and apply the same approach. So click the base, then right click and define that spot to that spot, and I'll go ahead and do the same thing here. Select on that, right click and define it from this particular position and that position. Let me just zoom close and terminate it here, right there. So we have the column bases in place. So another thing I want to do, I want just to hide these members that are obstructing my visibility. Let me just hide that. Let me just hide that, and I'll come here and pick or activate or invoke that command or macro. Simply select on that, then right click and snap at the bottom end here, just to define the orientation or the direction where I intend to organize or place my rebars on pad footing. Now you can see that we're remaining with only two. That should not be a worry. We are almost there. I'll go ahead and hide that and go here, select that and hide that. And come here and hide that to avoid obstruction. Then I'll select on this here and pick on the pad footing right there. Then right click and come to define the direction for the rebars. I'll define that as my direction, and the rebars are in place. I'll apply the same thing here and select that, right click and come here and define the orientation or the direction you intend to place, or how you want your rebars and pad footing to be arranged. So let me just right click and show all. So you can see we have our pad footing in place. So other parts have been hidden using the clip plane. I use the clip plane just to avoid clogging or making the drawing so busy. So let's meet on the next presentation, where I'll be showing you how we can add more rebars on other members like tie beams and columns. Let's meet then. Bye bye.